Thinking of exiting your business or taking on a private equity partner to help you grow faster? BizNexus has you covered. Tap into our network of thousands of best-fit investors, acquirers, and proven M&A advisors, and we'll help you begin the relationship confidentially on your terms, your timeline. Learn more at biznexus.com.
Disclaimer from the always present legal team. Podcast conversations don't necessarily reflect the views of BizNexus Incorporated. Everything you hear is informational news and updates from around the industry. We're not recommending any investments. We're not offering any investment advice. Be sure to do your own homework.
All right, ready to dive into the world of private equity.
Let's do it.
But we're not talking about those massive deals, the ones that make headlines.
Right.
This is about how you can use those same strategies for your business.
Exactly.
Even if you're in that lower middle market,
Yeah.
maybe working with deals worth, say, $2 to $50 million.
I love that sweet spot.
Yeah.
So many opportunities there
Yeah, for
to
sure.
really unlock value.
Exactly. And what's so interesting about private equity firms, particularly in the lower middle market?
Mm-hmm.
They are laser focused on streamlining.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all about maximizing value.
They're the masters of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to squeeze every bit of return they can out of those businesses.
Yeah, that's their whole playbook.
And those are lessons that we can all learn from. Right.
Exactly. So we're going to dissect this article today. It's called How Lower Middle Market Private Equity Firms Streamline Operations of Their Portfolio Companies. And trust me, there's some absolute gems in here, stuff that can really change the game for any white business owner.
For sure.
I mean, whether you're thinking about attracting investors or just upping your game in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I think before we jump into the nitty-gritty, it might be helpful to kind of just level set on the landscape a little bit. So private equity firms, they basically, they gather money, they pool capital from investors, big institutions like pension funds, high net worth individuals.
Right.
And then they use that capital to go out and buy up or acquire stakes in privately held companies.
Okay, so their goal is to basically grow those companies,
Yeah.
increase their value,
Exactly.
and then eventually sell them for a profit. Right.
That's the name of the game. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how do they actually make money from this?
So there's a couple of ways. One is through management fees, which is like a percentage of the assets they manage.
Right.
And then there's this thing called carried interest.
Okay, carried interest. That one always sounds a little bit mysterious.
Yeah, it can be.
Can you break it down for us?
Yeah, think of it kind of like a performance bonus.
Okay.
So they only get a share of the profits if they hit certain targets, right? So they're super incentivized to make those businesses successful.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about buying and selling companies.
No.
It's about actively improving them.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Okay, and that's where this idea of streamlining comes in, right?
Yeah.
The article we're looking at today makes a really interesting point.
Yeah.
That while PE firms use a lot of different strategies to grow companies, streamlining is often the most impactful.
Absolutely.
Especially in the lower middle market.
It's really their bread and butter in that space.
Now that piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Why is streamlining such a secret weapon, especially for these mid-sized businesses?
It's all about efficiency, right? Streamlining doesn't depend on external factors like market trends or launching some brand new product.
Right. It's about optimizing what you already have to maximize profitability. Make your business a well-oiled machine.
Okay.
And it's particularly effective for those in the lower middle market because, frankly, they often have a lot of untapped potential for those efficiency gains.
It's like finding hidden treasure in your own business.
You got it.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Okay.
So the article breaks this down, this kind of treasure hunt, into three main strategies.
Okay.
First up, synergizing operations through acquisitions and partnerships.
I love this one.
I know this might sound a little private equity,
Yeah, a little fancy.
a little fancy, but stay with us here. The concept is really relevant, even if you're not, buying up companies left and right.
Absolutely. The idea is to find opportunities to combine forces and create efficiencies,
Good.
whether it's through, mergers, acquisitions, or even just strategic partnerships.
Now, the article gives a really good example of this.
Yeah.
It talks about merging outsourced CFO roles.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
So, say a PE firm acquires a few companies in the same industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of each company having its own part-time CFO,
Right.
they consolidate into one full-time, highly skilled CFO.
Love it.
Boom. Instant savings.
Yeah.
And you potentially get even better financial expertise.
Expertise, yeah. You're pooling resources, getting a higher caliber person potentially.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. And this doesn't just apply to, big acquisition.
Yeah, no.
It's about looking for those areas of overlap where you can streamline, even within your own company.
Absolutely. Think about it. How many times have you seen a business with multiple departments all kind of doing the same tasks?
Oh, yeah.
Or using different software that basically does the same thing?
It drives me crazy.
It's a waste.
Right. Yeah.
Consolidation is key.
So it's about getting creative, finding those win-win scenarios where you can achieve more with less.
That's the mantra.
Love it. Okay, on to strategy number 2.
Okay.
And this one might seem a little counterintuitive at first.
It often is.
Carve-offs.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let go to grow.
I was going to say, we usually think of growth as expanding, adding more.
Yeah.
But sometimes letting go is really the key to unlocking value.
It's true.
The article explains how PE firms strategically divest or sell off parts of a business that aren't performing well.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're not core to the overall strategy.
Going core, yeah.
It's like pruning a tree,
Right, get rid of those dead branches.
Get rid of the dead branches so the healthy ones can really flourish.
And it can be tough, right?
It can be tough.
If it's necessary.
I think this is where it requires a real honest look in the mirror.
Yeah, absolutely.
For business owners.
Yeah.
Are there parts of your business that are, draining resources without really contributing as much as they should?
Right, they're not pulling their weight.
Yeah. And it could be a product line that's not really taking off.
Yeah.
It could be a customer segment that's, more demanding than they are profitable.
Right, high maintenance, low reward.
Yeah. Or even just a specific activity that's no longer serving your goals.
It's about being ruthless in a way, focusing on what matters.
I think a lot of business owners struggle with this, though.
They do.
Because we get attached to the things we've built.
I get it.
Even if they're not really working for us anymore.
It's sentimental, right?
It is.
You put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
But sometimes the most strategic move is to cut those ties.
Yeah.
And just refocus that energy on what really matters.
Okay, and finally, let's talk about a strategy that might seem a little more familiar.
Right.
Cross-selling.
Yeah.
This is all about maximizing those existing customer relationships.
It's the low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
So many businesses just miss it completely.
And PE firms know this. They know that it's way more expensive
Way more.
to acquire a new customer. Absolutely, and it is to sell more to an existing one.
It's like 10 times more expensive, something like that. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. The article makes a really good point.
Yeah.
That businesses often have these hidden revenue opportunities, right, within their existing customer base.
They're sitting on a gold mine.
They are. It's about asking yourself the right questions. Right?
Absolutely. What else could your customers benefit from? Do you have products or services that complement what they're already buying?
Right.
Could you package things together, offer bundles, loyalty programs, even partner with other businesses to provide a wider range of solutions?
I love that. So it's about thinking beyond that initial sale, right?
Right.
It's about nurturing those long-term relationships with your customers.
It's all about lifetime value.
Okay, these are all such insightful strategies. And I can already see how they could be applied, to businesses of all sizes. But there's one more key concept we got to unpack here. And this is really the foundation for making all of this work.
Okay, lay it on me.
The article calls it thinking like a shareholder.
That's a powerful one.
This is a mindset shift
Big time.
that can completely transform
yeah.
how you approach your business.
It can be game-changing.
So for a lot of us business owners, this is about shifting from that, day-to-day in-the-weeds mentality.
Yeah, heads down, just trying to survive.
To a more strategic, big picture perspective.
It's like zooming out, right?
It is.
Getting a bird's eye view.
Yeah. It's almost like taking off your blinders and seeing your business with fresh eyes.
Absolutely. Asking yourself, what would I do if I were responsible for maximizing the value of this entire operation, not just, putting out fires all day?
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's get practical. How can we, as, busy business owners actually cultivate this think like a shareholder mindset?
Well, one simple but super powerful tactic is to just regularly review your financials. But don't just glance over them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Analyze them. Look for trends, red flags, areas where you're killing it,
Okay.
and areas where, you're falling short. Ask yourself, if I were an investor, what would excite me about this business?
Right.
What would worry me?
I love that. It really forces you to detach from the emotional side of things
Exactly. Take your emotions out of it.
and look at those numbers objectively, just like an investor would.
And it can be really eye-opening, You
It
might
will-
discover that a product line you're, emotionally attached to
Right.
is actually a drain on your resources.
Yeah.
Or you might find a hidden gem, some service that's quietly generating a lot of profit
Oh,
that
interesting.
you haven't been giving enough attention to.
And that ties back to those streamlining strategies we discussed, right?
It does, yeah.
So, for example, you're looking at your financials, thinking like a shareholder, and you notice that a particular product line has high sales,
Okay.
but very low profit margins.
That's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Time to ask some tough questions.
Okay, like what?
Is this product really worth the resources we're putting into it?
Mm-hmm.
Can we improve the profitability?
Nope.
Or would we be better off, discontinuing it?
Right.
Focusing on something else. A shareholder, they're going to want to see a clear path to profitability
Right.
and a strong return on investment.
It's about making data-driven decisions,
Exactly.
not emotional ones.
Data over feelings.
I like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of gaining a fresh perspective, shareholders, they often rely on analysts, advisors, board members
Yeah.
to provide insights, to challenge their assumptions.
Right. They need that outside perspective.
Is there a way for business owners to kind of replicate that?
Oh, absolutely. I think surrounding yourself with trusted advisors who can give you objective feedback and
Right.
a different viewpoint is crucial.
Okay, so that could be like a mentor, a business coach,
Yep.
maybe a peer advisory group.
Peer groups are fantastic.
Yeah.
Or even, a few trusted customers or suppliers.
Okay, and the key here is finding people who will be honest with you,
Brutal honesty sometimes.
even if it's not always what you want to hear.
Exactly, because sometimes, the people closest to us,
Right.
they're afraid to hurt our feelings.
Yeah, or rock the boat.
But a true advisor,
Right.
they're going to challenge your thinking,
Yeah.
help you see those blind spots
Mhm.
that you might be missing.
So don't be afraid to seek out those challenging conversations.
Please don't.
Ask them, what am I missing?
Yeah.
What are our weaknesses?
Mhm.
How can we do this better?
Love it.
That kind of open dialogue can lead to some amazing insights.
Breakthroughs, yeah,
Yeah.
that you might never discover on your own.
It's about creating that culture of continuous improvement, always seeking ways to optimize
Yeah.
and enhance the value of your business.
Just the mindset.
And you mentioned earlier, shareholders, they're really invested in the long-term success.
Yeah, they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
They're not looking for a quick flip.
How does that mindset translate into practical action?
It means making decisions that might not have, an immediate payoff,
Right.
but will build a stronger, more sustainable business
Okay.
over the long term.
So give me an example.
Sure. A shareholder might, for example, advocate for investing in research and development,
Okay.
even if it means slightly lower profits in the short term.
Okay. Interesting.
Right. They understand that innovation is essential.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Ensure that long-term competitiveness.
So it's about finding that balance between short-term profitability and those long-term investments
Exactly. Yeah.
that'll drive future growth.
It's a delicate dance.
And thinking like a shareholder, I think this goes beyond just, financial strategy.
It does.
It almost becomes a philosophy
It's a way of life almost for running your business.
for building a better business,
Yeah.
one that creates value not just for you, but for all your stakeholders, your customers, your employees.
Yeah.
It's about the bigger picture.
And we've talked a lot about, the analytical side of this mindset, but there's also a crucial element of emotional intelligence here too.
Oh, absolutely. You can't just be a numbers person.
Right.
You got to connect with people.
I can see how a successful shareholder needs, strong analytical skills to evaluate data to make those strategic decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But they also need that emotional intelligence
Yeah.
to build relationships, inspire teams, and communicate effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They understand that, a motivated, engaged workforce is essential.
Right.
So things like empathy, active listening skills, the ability to connect with people on a personal level. These are all crucial aspects of thinking like a shareholder.
It's about seeing your employees, your customers, your suppliers.
Not just as transactions.
Right. They're not just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right.
They're people.
But as valuable partners who contribute to your overall success.
Exactly. You want to create that culture where everyone feels valued, respected, empowered.
Because a happy and engaged team is a productive team.
Oh, absolutely. And that translates to increased value for the whole business.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
I've enjoyed it.
We've covered so much ground already, from understanding this world of private equity to these streamlining strategies and this invaluable think like a shareholder mindset.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
It is.
When you can internalize it and really apply it.
And the key takeaway here for our listeners is that these principles, they're not just for Wall Street.
No,
for billion-dollar corporations.
This is for everybody.
They're applicable to businesses of all sizes.
Absolutely. Small businesses, entrepreneurs, startups, everyone can benefit.
Absolutely. So by adopting these strategies and really shifting our thinking, we can unlock tremendous potential, for growth, for efficiency,
for sure,
and for long-term value creation.
Absolutely.
In our own businesses.
That's the goal.
That is the goal.
Like your business thrive.
Exactly.
And remember, it doesn't have to be overwhelming,
Right.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Okay.
Start small, pick one strategy that speaks to you, and just focus on implementing that.
Yeah. Don't get overwhelmed. Just pick one thing.
Yeah.
And make it work.
Yeah. Get some wins under your belt.
We're going to take a quick pause here.
Right.
When we come back, we're going to explore some specific tactics for cultivating this think like a shareholder mindset.
Yeah, let's get tactical.
And really making it a reality in your business.
Love it. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Let's keep digging into this whole think like a shareholder thing, all right?
Yeah. I'm excited to get into some more practical stuff here,
Absolutely. Give you some tools, some tactics to really make it work for your business.
Because it is such a simple concept.
Yeah.
But it really can be transformative, right?
Oh, it's powerful stuff.
I think for a lot of business owners, it's about shifting out of that day-to-day in-the-weeds mentality.
Yeah, you're just, head down.
Right.
Just trying to get through the day.
And getting to that more strategic, big-picture perspective.
It really is. It's like, taking off the blinders, seeing your business with fresh eyes and asking, okay, what would I do if I was the one responsible for maximizing the value of this whole thing?
Right.
Not just, dealing with whatever crisis comes up today.
So how do we actually do that? How do we, as busy business owners, cultivate this think like a shareholder mindset?
Well, one thing that's really simple but super powerful is to just regularly review your financials.
Okay.
But not just, glance over them. Really analyze them.
Okay.
Look for trends, red flags, areas where you're exceeding expectations.
Right.
Areas where you're falling short. Ask yourself, if I were an investor looking at these numbers, what would excite me?
Right.
What would worry me?
I love that. It's detaching from that emotional side of things, right?
Exactly. Take the emotion out of it.
And looking at it purely objectively.
The numbers don't lie.
They don't, like an investor would.
And you might be surprised by what you see,
You might.
You might discover that, some product line that you're emotionally attached to, it's actually a drain on resources.
Okay.
Or you might find some, some hidden gem, some service that's, quietly generating a ton of profit that you haven't been paying enough attention to.
Which goes back to like the streamlining, right?
It does, yeah. It all ties together.
So you're looking at your financials, you're thinking like a shareholder.
Yep.
You notice, let's say, a particular product line has high sales, but very low profit margins.
Ooh, that's a red flag.
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, you got to start asking those tough questions, right?
Yeah.
Is this product really worth the resources we're investing? Can we improve the profitability? Or are we better off just discontinuing it and focusing on something else?
Right.
A shareholder wants to see that clear path to profitability, strong return on investment.
Data-driven decisions.
Always. Data over feelings.
Not emotional ones. And I think also thinking about gaining that fresh perspective, shareholders, they often rely on analysts, advisors, board members
All right.
to give them insights,
Yeah.
to kind of poke holes in their assumptions.
Challenge their thinking, yeah.
Is there a way that, we as business owners can kind of replicate that?
Absolutely. I think surrounding yourself with, trusted advisors, people who can give you that objective feedback, a different viewpoint.
Okay.
It's crucial.
That could be a mentor, a business coach, maybe a peer advisory group.
Peer advisory groups are great, yeah. Even, some trusted customers, suppliers.
Okay. And the key here is finding people who are going to be honest with you.
Honest, yeah. Sometimes brutally honest.
Right. Even if it's not what you want to hear.
Exactly. Because, sometimes the people closest to us, they're too afraid to, hurt our feelings or rock the boat.
Or rock the boat.
Right. But a true advisor,
Right.
they're going to challenge you.
Yeah.
Help you see those blind spots that you might be missing.
So don't be afraid to have those tough conversations. Ask those questions. Right.
Yeah. Don't shy away from it.
Like, what am I missing? What are our weaknesses?
What are we not seeing?
How can we improve?
Yeah. How can we do this better?
That kind of open dialogue can lead to some breakthroughs, some real insights.
For sure. Stuff that you just wouldn't see on your own.
You wouldn't see on your own.
Yeah.
It's creating that culture of continuous improvement.
Constant evolution.
Always looking for ways to optimize
Yes.
and make your business more valuable.
That's the mindset.
And you mentioned this earlier, but shareholders, they're really invested in the long term.
Yeah, they're playing the long game.
Yeah. How does that translate to action, to what we do every day?
Well, it means making decisions that might not have an immediate payoff, right?
Right.
But are going to build a stronger, more sustainable business over the long term.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. So, a shareholder might advocate for investing in R&D.
Research and development.
Yeah, research and development, even if it means, slightly lower profits in the short term.
Okay.
Right? Because they understand that innovation is crucial.
Right.
You got to stay ahead of the curve, maintain that long-term competitiveness.
So it's finding that balance between short-term profitability
Yeah.
and those long-term investments that are going to lead to future growth.
It's a balancing act for sure.
Thinking like a shareholder, I think this goes beyond, just the financials.
Oh, absolutely.
Like almost like a philosophy for running your business,
Yeah, it's a mindset shift,
for how you're going to build your business
a way of life.
and creating value, not just for you, but for everyone involved.
All your stakeholders, yeah.
Your customers, your employees, the community.
The bigger picture, yeah.
And we've talked a lot about the kind of the analytical side of this.
The numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a crucial element of emotional intelligence, too.
Oh, absolutely. You can't just be a robot
Right.
crunching numbers all day.
Right.
You got to connect with people.
Yeah, because I think about a successful shareholder.
Mm-hmm.
They need those strong analytical skills
Yeah,
to evaluate the data, to make those decisions.
for sure.
But they also need that emotional intelligence
Yeah, the EQ.
to build those relationships, inspire their teams, communicate effectively.
Absolutely. And they get that, a motivated, engaged workforce.
Right.
It's key to driving those results.
Right.
So things like empathy, active listening,
Oh, right.
the ability to connect with people on a personal level.
Yeah.
These are all crucial parts of thinking like a shareholder.
It's about seeing your employees, your customers, your suppliers,
Yeah.
not as transactions,
Right. And not just numbers.
They're
people.
but as those valuable partners who are helping you succeed.
Absolutely. You want everyone to feel valued, respected, empowered.
Because happy employees are productive employees.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that leads to more value for the whole business.
That's the goal. Right.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Yeah, that's been fun.
We've covered so much.
The ground. Yeah.
From understanding, what private equity even is,
Yeah.
to these streamlining strategies, to this really valuable think like a shareholder mindset.
Powerful stuff.
And the key takeaway here, I think, for our listeners
Yeah.
is that these principles,
Mm-hmm.
they're not just for Wall Street.
No.
They're not just for these, billion-dollar corporations.
It's for everyone.
They apply to businesses of all sizes,
Yeah, absolutely.
across all industries.
Main Street can benefit just as much
Right.
as Wall Street.
So by adopting these strategies
Yeah.
and really changing how we think,
Shifting that mindset.
we can unlock a lot of potential
Yeah.
for growth, for efficiency,
For sure.
and for building long-term value
Mm,
in our businesses.
that's the dream.
That is the dream. And it doesn't have to be, overwhelming.
No, start small.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Step at a time.
Pick one thing, one strategy that really speaks to you.
Yeah.
and focus on implementing that first.
Yeah, get a win under your belt.
Don't get overwhelmed.
Keep it simple.
One step at a time. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share a real-world example.
Ooh, I love examples.
Of how a company actually put these principles into practice.
Okay, hit me.
Have you heard of Atlassian?
Yeah, they make software, right?
Yeah, they make software development and collaboration tools.
Right, yeah, I know them.
And they're a great example of a company that really embraced this think like a shareholder mindset.
Okay.
And used it to grow like crazy.
Awesome.
So a few years ago, they made a pretty bold decision.
Okay.
They decided to get rid of their sales team.
Whoa, that's a big move.
I know, right?
They must have had a good reason.
They did.
Okay.
They realized that their sales team was actually becoming a bottleneck.
Interesting.
It was slowing down their sales process.
Okay.
And it was keeping them from scaling as quickly as they wanted to.
So what did they do?
So they decided to invest a lot of resources in building this self-service model.
Interesting.
Where customers could easily try and buy their products online without having to talk to a salesperson.
So they basically carved off an entire department.
They did.
That's bold.
I know. It must have been a tough decision.
It must have been, yeah.
But it paid off big time.
It did.
By streamlining that sales process, by empowering customers to self-serve.
Okay.
They were able to cut costs, improve their customer experience, and really accelerate their growth.
Wow, so their revenue went up.
Skyrocketed.
And I bet their stock price followed suit.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
So sometimes those unconventional decisions.
Like the counterintuitive ones.
Yeah, the ones that seem, kind of crazy at first. Those can lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
You got to think outside the box sometimes.
You do. And it all comes back to that think like a shareholder mindset.
Right.
They weren't afraid to make a bold move to challenge the status quo because they were laser focused on creating the most value for the business.
Long term, yeah.
Long term. So the takeaway here, I think, is to not be afraid to think outside the box, to question your assumptions.
Don't be afraid to shake things up.
And always be looking for ways to improve, even if it means making some tough choices.
It's about progress, not comfort.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this deep dive with some actionable steps you can take to start implementing these principles in your business today. Okay, we're back. Ready to give you some real takeaways, some things you can actually do.
Yeah, let's make this actionable.
To put this think like a shareholder mindset to work.
We've covered a lot, I know, but don't feel overwhelmed, right? It's not about doing everything at once. It's about taking those little nuggets we talked about and using them to make your business better.
Exactly. So let's break it down. What are some things you can actually do starting today?
All right, so step 1. Pick one of those streamlining strategies we talked about. Synergizing operations, carve-offs, cross-selling. Pick one. Just one.
Okay.
And commit to really exploring it in your business this week.
Okay, don't try to do it all at once.
No. Focus is key here. Pick the one that feels, most relevant right now.
Right.
And really dig in.
To make that even more concrete, I'd say block off 30 minutes on your calendar this week to just think like a shareholder. Get away from the day-to-day, the emails.
Yeah, get that bird's eye view.
Look at your business with fresh eyes. Ask yourself those tough questions.
Yeah, the ones we talked about. What are you good at? What are you not so good at?
But what are you missing?
What opportunities are hiding in plain sight?
And while you're in that mindset, I challenge you to identify at least one cross-selling opportunity.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Think about your existing customers, right?
Right, your best assets.
Can you bundle some products or services together, create more value? Maybe a loyalty program?
Loyalty programs are great.
To reward your best customers.
Yeah, keep them coming back for more.
Or even partner with another business, offer a wider range of solutions.
It's all about, deepening those relationships, maximizing that lifetime value.
I love that because even implementing one of these strategies, it can have such a ripple effect.
Oh, absolutely.
It can make your business more efficient, more profitable,
more valuable. All ties together.
And ultimately, more valuable.
Remember Atlassian?
Yeah.
The company we talked about, the one that got rid of their sales too?
Yeah, they made that big move, went to a self-service model.
It was a bold move.
It was.
But it paid off big time.
It really did. And it's a great reminder that sometimes you got to challenge those assumptions.
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Don't be afraid to shake things up a bit.
to find those breakthroughs.
That's where the magic happens.
So it all comes back to this, think like a shareholder mindset.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
Always be asking, what will create the most value in the long run?
How do we make this business the best it can be?
Exactly. So to wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this question. How could these techniques, these PE-inspired strategies, how could they transform your business over the next year?
What could you achieve?
What's possible? Think about it.
Yeah, let that simmer. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of private equity.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And how those strategies can be applied to any business, big or small. Hopefully you've got some new ideas, some inspiration to streamline your operations, think like a shareholder, and really take things to the next level.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing those boundaries.
Onwards and upwards.
Acquiring a business? BizNexus simplifies it. Access thousands of updated opportunities in our DIY marketplace or supercharge team sourcing with OmniSource, your all-in-one platform for on-market, off-market, and coming-soon deals. Scale smarter today. Learn more or book a demo at www.biznexus.com.